G'day, internet, boys and girls. This is my video about how to set up your character for raiding, or just for playing WoW. I'm going to use my warrior being my main toon, and a bit of an overview about, and there's guides everywhere that'll tell you what to do as far as playing the character. You can look at rotations, you can look at vast number of guides that'll just dictate to you, do this, do that, do that. And quite often the people that are dictating it are dicks. So, written guides and things like that, just take one look on MMO Champ, you question one of those blokes and, whew, I'm right because I'm right. But there's obviously massive amounts of value in those guides, but, there's a lot of stuff you can do for yourself. And it's learning about how to do them and how to create stuff yourself. You know what I mean? So this is just going to be a video about how I set up, or how I've set up my my experience really, and what I do when I play WoW. Behind the scenes stuff to get yourself established into that space when you just go out and you just play, right? So, UI, weak auras, simcraft, which in this case I sim through raid bots, and then I'll share it all, and you can have it. So, nice and simple. So, I guess the first one I'll go through is simming. Yeah, let's start with simming because that's the one that might sort of take up a bit of time. The other ones are really simple. So, Fury Warrior. The thing I'd like to point out is the stat weights. The stat weights thing is always a sort of contentious issue about, well, what stats do I take? This item? Do I take that item? What do I do? Simming is no longer a thing that you have to be too sort of into the game to do. It's something you can do in seconds, and then you can import that into the game via a add-on right here, Pawn. That makes the process super quick and super simple. There's no argument now as to why you shouldn't do it. And this is not to say people that just sort of come into the game, have a bit of fun, don't give a shit. Look at that item, that number right there, and that's all they care about. That's fine. You play this game, you play for this game, play it how you want. But if you want to sort of get a bit better results, then this is what it is. So the first thing I'd say is download Pawn. If you've got your curse launcher and stuff like that, download Pawn. It'll look like that when it's launched. It'll give you some profiles by default. Just delete them and create your own. Yeah. So I've created one for Arms and for Fury. So how to create them? You go to Scale and you can. I can't remember how you start one, but anyway, you'll work it out. Basically, what I'll do now is I'll go to Simcraft and I'll upload new Fury stat weights. All right, real quick. So you're in the game, you got your character open, well, the armory, because it's all this stuff works off the armory. Log out if you have to. See, I'll quickly log out here so you can see. So I'm out. So it'll update the armory with my up-to-date spec, gear, all that sort of stuff. So then if I go to, here's my internets. So raid bots, right here, raidbots.com, blah 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 blah. Go to stat weights. Refresh your character. Wow, it's taken a long time to log me in. There's the talents obviously that I had selected. These are just single target talents for a warrior. There's my gear right there, so I know I've got the gear on that I think is my best. And then all you do is you go down here, generate start weights. Now this will take whatever amount of time. Busy times of the day it'll take a long time. Quiet times of the day like now it should be relatively quick. And we're going. While that's doing that, I'll jump back here. Actually, no, I'll wait for it to be done. So what this is going to do, it's going to generate you a stat weight. So it takes your major stats, haste, mastery, crit, versatility, strength, intellect, whatever you got, and it'll rank them in DPS per point. So with every extra point of mastery, for argument's sake, it'll give you a number of DPS, damage per second, that'll increase. So for me, it's somewhere in the 30s. So say it'll say mastery is worth 36 DPS per point. So every extra point of mastery you add, you're going to get 30 odd DPS out of it. So here you go. So with this gear setup, yeah, mastery is worth 37 DPS per point of mastery versus haste, crit, strength. And all of that is based on a single target encounter, patchwork, for people that use the term patchwork. And yeah, so stack more mastery, you're gonna get the best result of stacking more mastery than stacking more crit or more strength or more blah 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 blah. But to work that out manually, then when a piece of item drops, is going to be a pain in the ass. So this is where the add-on comes in. If I copy that, so copy this that's up here, the pawn string, copy it to clipboard, and then if I go back to the game, and then I open pawn, then if I select my Fury thing, scales, import, paste it in there, and there you go. So it's copied that string into the game. So now, if I open my bags, which are messy, and hover over an item, this neck for argument's sake, compared to what I've got equipped, and now I haven't simmed since last night's raid, like I got some gear last night, so this will be slightly out of whack. So this neck piece, same item level, but it's because this is verse mastery heavy, it's an 8% DPS increase over the neck that I was wearing. I think my previous sim a few days ago, or three or 4 days ago, showed that haste was better with my current gear setup, so this neck was better. So ta-da, this neck theoretically is now better. So I will enchant that and bang it on when I've got time. So that's simcraft and all that, and using pawn to do your gear. Now best in slot lists will be on MMO Champ and things like that. Another thing I'll add at this point is to this add-on, best in slot Redux. It's a cool add-on where if you can go heroic, normal, whatever difficulty you're progressing in, and you can select items from the list, and then once you've got your list filled out with your best in slot items, which again you can find them online and places like that, you can go to overview and you can see, well, for me, there's still upgrades off certain bosses, and Argus being the main one. I don't think I've got anything off Argus yet. It just helps you plan out your bonus rolls for the week. So, you know, obviously I'm going to roll definitely on Varimathras and Argus, and the other one I'll just look for what my biggest upgrade is. I think the relic here off Antorus High Commander. So there's my 3 rolls per week. But anyway, that's that cool add-on, and you can also see your guild, other people in your guild that are using the add-on. You can see what they need as well, which is handy. So do that. So that's gear. That's simming. Very handy. It's sort of, you can take control of your upgrades and know where your upgrades are coming from. And if you're a friendly raider like I am, but you know, that's probably down for argument, but it puts you in a better position to say, ah, look, it's a bigger upgrade for you, you take it, or this one's quite huge for me, you know, it's sort of be like a 30% upgrade, so you might sort of plead your case. Or if you're using Master Loot or a Loot Council or things like that, you can put notes in and say, what, you know, this is a 35% upgrade for me, and you can sort of balance that between you. But that's that. So get used to it. The other thing that RaidBots does really good is, so here, if you go back to RaidBots, you can do gear comparisons. So I've currently got this set of gear on, so I'm using an unstable Arcana Crystal. But what I could do is I could add the moon glaives, because I have 930 moon glaives, and I'll put it in trinket slot 2. So now it's going to use all the same items, but it's going to swap out my Arcana Crystal for the moon glaives, and then I can compare them. And it'll run the same simulation. Now this will take a hell of a lot longer, so I might leave this in the background going. But then it will show you if you have Arcana Crystal and all your other gear equipped, that's your baseline, and this is what it'll be with the moon glaives. It's cool, yeah? I like it. So let's go back to the game. Add-on number 2. It's a pretty obvious one, weak auras. So weak auras is a big one. Now, most of my weak auras are just taken off a website called Wago. If you just Google weak auras, you'll find it in a second. So stuff like this is just straight off Wago. And I've modified it to my own liking. I've changed some things, which I recommend doing. Don't just take something off someone else and just... I mean, if it works for you, fine, but I always find things that I don't agree with, I don't like, so I change. So get used to like playing around with it and create your own buffs and things like that to get used to it. So this is my main warrior weak aura. I also have one for buffs where it shows things that are proccing and cooldowns. These are mainly trinkets and things like that. This again is off Wago. And the other one I have is my procs. So when certain things proc that are good to know about, you know, previous tier sets would have procs that you need to react to. I had focus rage things and stuff like that for when we were playing arms. All that good stuff. Juggernaut stacks, Massacre procs, cleave for playing arms. The new arms tier 21, all that stuff. Just heaps of things. Just there. And it grows from the bottom up. You'll see. I'll hit the dummy for a quick second and I'll show you shortly. Weak auras. Very, very good. I could play without it, but I don't want to. So that's that. I use quartz cast bars, but that's a pretty simple one there. Bigwigs, so any type of boss mod. This is easy stuff though. People don't really need to look at me for this sort of stuff. Yeah, so that's pretty straightforward. The big one, I guess, is ElvUI. So ElvUI, which contains basically where everything is on screen. And ElvUI is a absolute time sink. You can spend days messing around with ElvUI, and I recommend it when you got time because it is fun to fuck around with. But yeah, ElvUI for everything that you see. Oops, I just closed it. So the main one is your unit frames, like raid frames. You know, you've got your raid frames over here, and you can have your party frames, wherever bloody party frames are. Oh, just underneath it. So yeah, you'll have your party frames and stuff like that. All extremely customizable. So yeah, that's weak auras. That's ElvUI. Details for damage meters. This also can soak up a bit of your time setting up this, but that's about it. And when you've got everything set up and it's all looking tasty and you're enjoying it, you can then you know, spend some time in a game just hitting stuff. So when it's all said and done, this is what it looks like. And there you go. So it lets me know when things are happening, and it's nice. See? You got visual cues for when things are happening. You know, you're not missing out on stuff. It's just really nice. You feel like you're on top of everything. You're not missing anything. So yeah, that's my... I'll just finish up here with a bit of a tasty... There it is, bye. So that's what it looks like in combat. It's pretty much all I can think of. But that's, you know, it's not a guide per se. It's just how to set up your your UI to put yourself in a good spot to I guess perform as well as you can perform. It's not to say you can't just sit back and just have some fun and get some gear and all that good stuff, but there you go. Cheers, guys. And if you want anything, I'll share my auras. I'll share my my LVUI profile for my warrior. Just this one. I've got one for healing, one for tanking, and one for DPSing. But I'll share just the DPS one. And have at it. Any questions? Hit me up. Before I finish, here is the thing for the gear comparison. So with Arcana Crystal is the top one, obviously. There's your theoretical patchwork DPS. 1.4% DPS decrease if you were to equip Moonglaves in that slot instead. Patchwork. So there's for what it's worth. I mean, obviously, if you add a second target to that, forget about this because Moonglaves is going to do more damage. To probably make up that gap for hitting multiple targets. But yeah, it is what it is. So yeah. Enjoy, guys. Take it easy. Cheers.